It's one of Europe's most popular cities, known for its fine museums, stunning architecture, and thriving sports scene. But beyond the usual tourist sites is a side of the city few tourists ever get to experience. A city full of forgotten history, age-old traditions, and some surprising residents. I'm in the land of Romans, artists, and soccer gods.
Benvenuta a Barcelona!
Barcelona lies on the northeast coast of Spain, about 70 miles from the French border. It is the country's second largest city and the unofficial capital of the autonomous region of Catalonia. Throughout the course of my one-week stay, I'll be exploring this fascinating city entirely on foot. I'll begin my journey at the city's Marina. I'll then explore its historic Gothic Quarter before visiting Montjuic and the city's largest Muslim neighborhood. I'll then explore the areas around La Rambla and Plaza Catalunya before exploring more of the Gothic Quarter. Next, I'll explore the areas around Parque Ciutadella before heading to the city's popular La Rambla to attend a Catholic festival. I'll then visit the Columbus Monument and Playa San Sebastian before exploring the Ciutat Bella neighborhood. On the last couple of days of my trip, I'll revisit some familiar territory where I'll be met with some unexpected surprises. Barcelona. It's a part of Spain I never had any intention of visiting. Before researching this trip, I knew almost nothing about the place. How I found myself here is a complicated story, and one that I do not have time for. All I will say is that it was a spur-of-the-moment decision that turned out to be well worth it. That being said, you probably expect me to show you the works of Picasso, Dali, and that third famous artist who was from here. What was his name? Guido or something. And you probably expect me to show you famous tourist sites like the Parque Güell and Sagrada Familia, which you've seen in just about every other travel video. Yeah, a visit to a construction site. Sounds interesting. Okay, fine, here's a quick shot of it. There it is. You happy? Good. Now, Barcelona. It's Spain's most popular tourist destination, averaging over 30 million annual visitors. The city is home to just 1.5 million. During the summer months, there are more tourists here than locals. Even right now in January, the streets are still pretty crowded. Not surprising considering that the city has some stunning architecture, great food, and beautiful parks. Oh, it also happens to be the cocaine capital of Europe. I'm so proud of them. The city's residents don't consider themselves Spanish, but Catalan. Their language, food, and culture are different from the rest of Spain. Join me as I discover the hidden attractions and experience firsthand the reality of life in this complex city. My journey begins at the city's Marina.
We apologize for any inconvenience.
To jest dla turystów to?
Tak, chyba. What's another namati?
Non sia ni tourist.
Okay, so here's the deal. We've just arrived in Barcelona. I'm really exhausted, but just as I suspected, the hotel won't check us in for another 6 hours. So we have no choice but to wait. So I found this nice little restaurant by the Marina. I'm gonna order something to eat, and then we're gonna start our exploration of the city. Spain's famous jamón ibérico, best ham in the world, so they say. My first meal in Barcelona. I'm gonna enjoy that and then we'll explore the city.
Droga tam jedzie, to jest dosyć dużo.
Oh wow, this incredible Gothic style building you see behind me is the Barcelona Cathedral. It was constructed between the 13th and 15th century with some modern additions made in the 19th century. The cathedral is the seat of the Archbishop of Barcelona and is dedicated to Eulalia of Barcelona, co-patron saint of the city. She was a young virgin who, according to Catholic tradition, suffered martyrdom during the city's Roman times.
Ja też jeszcze zrobić jeszcze, bo nie zrobiłam tego już ładnie.
Now, a few years ago, I actually visited Cusco and Mexico City. So it's really interesting to come here to this cathedral and see all the gold they stole from the Incas and Aztecs.
Por favor, guardemos silencio. Keep silent, please. Guardemos silenzio, si ci parlo.
Barcelona has a reputation for being a very modern, artsy city, so you'll probably never believe that the city actually had its origins back in the Roman times. It was actually founded in 15 BC by Augustus Caesar. These towers you see behind me here on this more modern looking building actually date from the Roman period. This building right here is the Episcopal Palace, but virtually nothing remains of the original 13th century palace. The one we see today was built in the 1600s. Check this out. There's this little street behind the cathedral. You go inside this building and you have these beautiful Roman columns which were built in the 4th century and were part of the temple of Augustus. Check this out. Right here we actually have a portion of the original Roman walls that protected the city.
Chcesz tak w koło obejść?
Ja wiem, nie?
Mestiza ardiente de lengua amiga.
This 14th century Gothic church you see behind me is the Basilica Santa Maria del Pi. And the church's name actually translates to Saint Mary of the Pines. Oh, this is Barcelona's famous La Rambla Street. Check this out. A bit earlier we saw a section of the Roman walls, and right here we have a section of the medieval ones. This building right here was the old customs house. This is the view from our hotel patio. Not the best neighborhood, but it's cheap and really close to the city center.